the whole thing against me was all white. This cell all by itself. I could reach and touch wall to wall when I stretched my hands out like that. And it's worse than any cell that the animals have at the zoo. And they tried to kill me. They destroyed me and my family ties. They destroyed my career.
And can you forgive them one day? A few weeks ago, I was in Memphis, Tennessee, an important city for the US music scene, so I had to meet a musician. And I did. I met Perry Cobb. But since it was for Death Row Stories, we didn't focus much on his music. But we did talk about his story, and I must say that it's incredible. If you've seen it, you'll remember my interview with Anthony Graves, a powerful 4-part series about his incredible journey. If you haven't, I highly recommend it. Perry Cobb's story shares some similarities, like a first arrest that led to an unfair conviction. Perry says he did fight, but he didn't do what the official reports state. I wasn't there, but I must say that I believe him. I wanted to make it clear, but anyway, this first arrest is not the main story. Get ready to listen to the story of a black man, a singer who was in his 40s in the 1980s. By the way, the story ends in Memphis, but it starts in Chicago.
My name is Perry Cobb. I'm entertainer. Well, yesterday I was ex-entertainer. And I write songs and I sing songs. That's what I was doing for a living.
Thank you very much, Perry, for having me in your house today. We're going to talk about your incredible life. Let's start with the beginning. You were born in 1942. Can you tell us where you grew up, what your parents were doing?
Yeah, I was born February 3rd, 1942. My dad was working. He was a postal worker. And my mom stayed at home. So that was my life growing up as a child. All I did was pray and go to school and do my homework.
In which city were you?
In Chicago, Illinois.
And after you finished high school, what did you do? Did you start working? Did you study?
Yeah, I was working part-time because I was singing too. And I don't know how it's gonna go, but eventually it got pretty good to the degree whereas we wanted to cut a record and we got kind of good. So Bernice Williams was my manager. I think she's the same manager that Gene Channel had. But my dad wouldn't sign the papers for me to sing because he said, well, as we went along, it would get better, and then he would think about it then. But he wouldn't sign it. He wouldn't sign the contract. I was underage then. But when I became of age, I didn't need him anymore. So I was writing songs and singing until they finally said, well, we're gonna cut this song. Johnny Pate said we're gonna cut this song. And we cut the song of Lady Luck and We're in Love. And that was our first record out.
You also worked as an entertainer in nightclubs, right? Can you tell us about this?
I can't remember all the places, but we had gigs, and coming up, we wasn't making the money that we were supposed to be making, but we was making enough to get by. And that was good because you had a lot of entertainers that was out there like we were, and they wasn't making any money. So since we was making money, evidently people liked the way we sang and the way we performed, and that was good for us. So when we went to Bernice Williams and found that she was Gene Channel's manager, and what they wanted to do, they wanted to split me up, take me away from my group, and I could sing singles, and I wouldn't do that. I said that we started together, we'll finish together. That's where I looked at it. But We didn't get anywhere like I thought we would have, but we should have.
You got children also?
Yes, I do.
How many children and at what age did you have them?
Ah, it was young age. I think I was 21. Yeah, 21 years old. Yeah, I had a set of twins, and my young daughter, Sharice. That was by the woman who I married at the time. That was my kids by her kids.
So how many total?
Well, I don't want to get into how many I have told. Just that's enough right there for me. At the time, my wife moved to Memphis. Okay, left in Chicago, Illinois. So I came down here behind that and tried to find a job here in Memphis, Tennessee, and I couldn't find a job, so I had to go back to Chicago because couldn't live off of her and her people. I didn't want to do that. So I went back to Chicago and I started performing and working. And one thing led to another. Next thing, I wound up going to penitentiary.
On what I read, it says you shot someone in the head.
That's what the states say. The states say you did it, so they put that in writing. But what they failed to put in writing was that I denied that. I didn't shoot no one in the head. I didn't do that. That's what they say. So on the state side, whatever they say that you did, they write it down, put it on TV, on the radio, in the newspaper, any place they can get it to try and riv it up to the degree whereas everyone point their finger and say he did it, he's guilty. But I'd never pled guilty to anything because I didn't do it. I fought against it. So that when I was going to penitentiary.
You had done nothing or you did fight?
Yes, I did fight. People gave me for 2-6. I think the time was 2-6. And I didn't do that all the time on that. But when I got out, and then was it 77?
At that time, you were living in a hotel room?
I did my writing. I was doing writing, writing song in a hotel room. And the police came by, knocked on the door, and I just got out of the shower. And before I could get to the door just went by me in sprints. It kicked the door wide open. I mean, kicked it. Got guns everywhere, all sides my head. I didn't know what it was all about. I didn't know they was policemen because no one had a uniform on.
You had no idea why they arrested you that night. It was in 1977.
I had no idea. I hadn't did anything to anyone.
3 weeks before, and you didn't know about this, 2 people were killed in a hot dog store.
I didn't know anything about that. I had never been in that place in my life where they sold a hot dog. I had never been able to cross the street from a lounge. I didn't go to lounges because I don't drink, so I don't hang on no lounges. So I didn't know anything about anything. I was surprised about the whole thing, period.
Can you tell us what happened in that hot dog store that night, even if you were not there?
I cannot tell you what happened there because I've never been there.
But now you know, right? Now
I know what they said. They said that with the eyewitness that said that he was looking through a window. And let me explain this to you. He was wearing eyeglasses. They was thick. They like bifocals. And he was looking out of a store window with the glasses about that thick. These glasses on his face. They was Arthur Shields is his name. As he was looking across the street, it was they say about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So it couldn't be real nice out where you can, like it is, like you can see. So listen to this. And he said he saw me and another guy outside and then went inside. Then he said that the one that did the crime was approximately 6'11", weighed about 152 pounds. that couldn't have been me because at the time I was wearing about 2'5" or 2'6". So if I'm 205 or 206 and I'm not 6 feet tall, and here's this man talking about 6'11" and light skinned, and I'm a black man. It couldn't be me. Fingerprints weren't mine, but still they went along with that. And what they did when they took me to jail, they was asking me, trying to point at some pictures that they had of some guys that actually did the crime. Said, we want you to say this guy and this guy did that. I said, okay, I don't believe this. I'm trying to go along with it because I'm trying to find out what are their names. They won't tell me their names. Police told me, say, if you don't testify, no, you don't write and put it down and write saying these guys did it, we're gonna give you the crime. I didn't believe that. But they wound up giving it to me because I would not go along with their program as to putting some more men in jail in my place. I wouldn't do that. They went along with that. We had a mistrial. That was the first trial. We had a mistrial. Okay, we had to go back. Had to wait for a minute. And we went back for a second trial. So the second trial, I think the height difference changed. It wasn't 6'11" anymore. It was probably 6 feet tall, something like that in that area. But it's coming down to close to my height, right? We still got a mistrial in that one because it didn't make any sense. Had a mistrial because it was brought out in the court that what he had testified for in the first trial, and it wasn't matching the second trial. But we got a mistrial for that. That's the first two trials was mistrials.
At that time, you're still in prison, right?
I'm in Cook County Jail. The guards was rough, and you had gangs that you had to deal with. If you couldn't take care of your business, and I mean fight, you was in trouble because somebody's gonna handle you in that jail. But I'm glad that I could fight, so nobody would bother me. I could fight and sing. They said, "Well, Perry, he's a good singer, man, so we ain't gonna fight him." That was good for me. I didn't have to fight was in Cook County Jail. But if I was unable to take care of myself, I would have had a lot of problems there. I was expecting saying no, sir, and yes, sir, no, ma'am, and yes, ma'am, to the guards in Cook County Jail. And they respected that. And they treated me well behind that. But I had to go through some changes before I could get them to look at me like that. Because first of all, the record came, they said, oh yeah, he's so and so. I'm not trying to be bad, but I'm not going to let you harm me. I'm going to do the best I can to take care of me. That's what I had to do. But they treated me well.
You had an eyewitness who was telling another description than yours. You had no evidence linking you to the crime, and now we know that you were not there. The only thing they had was someone saying, this Santini, Phyllis Santini. What did she say? She said she took you there.
She said that she drove me and Dobby Tillis. So she drove us around the place, just looking at it.
Because there were two of you.
Yeah. My co-defendant, yeah, right. He's expired now. He's no longer living. But she said that she drove us around. And I'm sitting in the back seat, and some kind of way I'm supposed to hit her in the head, grab her by the head, her hair, and hit her in the head, and just like I'm real rough, and went into the place and did this crime. But I never in my life have been in that place a day in my life. Never.
We know that now, but at that time she's accusing you. That's why you're in prison.
Yeah, she's a witness for the state's attorney.
Santini, what you need to say is that Santini, she told someone she had done the crime with Brown. She told someone that.
Yes.
And you could bring that person to say that.
This lady knew Santini. and Johnny Brown. She knew them. She didn't know me, but she knew them. And she knew what she was going to testify to is that they are the one who did the crime.
Santini told her that.
Santini told her, and Santini said she was afraid that some kind of way she's gonna get harmed. I said, well, it couldn't be me and David Tillerson because they got us locked up.
This lady to whom Santini told she had done the murder, did she testify at your third trial?
The judge Maloney would not allow her to testify.
But why?
Now you asking me a question I can't answer. All I can say is this, to the degree that he was biased and prejudiced, and the states are saying that Perry Cobb and David Tillers did this crime. They got witnesses, Arthur Shields and Phyllis Santini, saying that they did the crime. So Arthur Shields saying he's seen him. Phyllis Santini said she drove around to it, and I pulled her hair, hit her side of the head, and made her stop the car. And I went in there and we did this. So that's why the judge wouldn't allow Patricia Hughes Minor to testify to the fact that she knew Johnny Brown and Phyllis Tina. I didn't know her. I never seen her a day in my life. When they called her name, I thought it was a white girl, but she was a black woman, Patricia Hughes Minor. I had never heard of a black person have a name like that. Didn't know her. This is all in the third trial.
What happens at the end of the third trial? What did the jury decide?
Guilty.
Guilty. Even if there's no evidence linking you to the scene?
They had no weapon, and all these lies been told. Guilty. Had an all-white jury.
It was only white.
All-white jury.
Why they were only white jury? You remember that?
Well, during jury selection, the black people that was there, the state that wanted to kick them out. They kicked them out. See, when they say you can be tried by jurors of your peers, that's a lie. Those are just words that make it seem fair, but it's not fair. Because if you're a black man, if you can get 6 and 6, 6 white and 6 blacks, it'll be good. But they don't allow that to happen. But the state kick most of them out that they can to kick them off.
Do you think it would have helped if there were black juries?
I think it would have helped, because the thing of it is, you can tell when the person is lying and when they tell the truth. No one's crazy. And it wouldn't make any sense that I'm going to kill 2 people, armed robbing for their money and watch and ring, whatever it is. I'm going to kill them, but I'm going to let these people go who drove me there, and we're not friends? That don't make any sense. That's crazy. Why would I kill 2 people and let these go? Where's the gun? No, nothing on my hands. What they call the evidence, gunpowder, none of that. If it's a week later, or a day later, or a month later, they should have something besides someone saying that Perry Cobb did this and did that. It don't make any sense.
So you are found guilty, and then there is the sentencing phase, right?
Yeah.
And what happens then?
The judge sentenced you to death. That's what they did, sentenced us to death.
How do you feel? Is it a shock, or you know it from the beginning?
It wasn't a shock. The shock before that was a shock to me. By them finding me guilty, that was a shock. Because I didn't do anything. You know, it was a shock to this degree, whereas I don't feel good about anything because I got this all-white jury. and his Santana testifying against me, his Arthur Shield testifying. The whole thing against me was all white. Johnny Brown was a black man. He didn't show up in court. He wasn't there. Arthur Shields white, Phyllis Santana white. I guess if they ain't white, they looking white. But these are, and all the jurors white, and the state's attorney's white, the judge is white. Got two state's attorneys white, and the judge is white. The only black people there is me and my lawyer, and my co-defendant's lawyer, and my co-defendant. We the only blacks there. The rest of them white. Everything, the whole thing is white. The people that was armed, robbed, and killed, they was both white. So I didn't feel good about any of that.
So you mentioned Brown. Brown is the boyfriend of Santini.
Yes.
And now we know what really happened, and we know that he was involved.
Yes.
But let's not jump into this right now. What happens after you are found guilty? You go on death row?
I had to go back to my cell, and they're gonna ship me on the next thing where going to death row, going to Statesville death row.
How is it like on death row? Is it like in prison or is it different?
Death row, it is prison, but you don't have no setting. You know, this cell all by itself. I could reach and touch wall to wall when I stretch my hands out like that. I touch the walls. Wall to my left, wall to my right. I'm touching. Okay, you got a commode in there from the cell door to the back. I can touch the cell door and reach down and touch the commode like that. Because it's made like this, the bed is on this side. Now, the bed go back to the back. It's worse than criminal. And it's worse than any cell that the animals have at the zoo. It's tight. And that's where you be. You got to eat and sleep right there. When you got to go and get a shower, you have to put your hands out. They handcuff you where they put the food and have you come back over door and escort you to the shower. When you get in the shower, stick your hands out, you take the cuffs off, and you shower. When you get through showering, you got to put your hands back out, put your cuffs on, and came back, they take you back to your cell. So there's nothing that you can do.
There was a fourth trial? Tell me, how did it go?
I don't know at the time that I got an automatic appeal coming. I didn't realize none of this until my lawyers were talking, probably told me, but it went past me because I'm thinking about they going to kill me for something I didn't do. When it dawned on me that I'm going to have a date to file my brief, that they're not going to kill me at this is when I went deep off into the law, deep as I could get. And I learned it pretty well to the degree whereas my lawyers were looking up to me and say, look what Cobb did. Stephen Clark is an attorney that I had that was going to write my brief. And we got real close. When he got through with the brief, I said, no. I said, so and such and such is not in here that have. He said, Perry, I couldn't get it all in. I said, I'm not going. He said, you write it then. And I wrote the brief. And the brief that I wrote is the brief that got us off of death row, got us back for a trial. Made me feel good. I think my father was real proud because no one had no idea. I didn't either. That I had learned the law well enough to rewrite the brief that this lawyer wrote and did it better. I got everything off in there that he didn't get in there. See, in other words, he selected to be common with it. But you have to go into the dictionary, get the words that mean these certain things, and you shorten the writing out. And that's how I got it in.
What did you write in that brief that took you out of death row?
If you got someone gonna testify to the degree whereas they saying that you didn't do anything, that these people did it, the state witnesses did it, and they wouldn't allow them, the judge won't allow them to testify, that's against the law. He done went all the way south on the law. Said, no, you can't have that. So I'll put it in there. I'll put that in there because that was a major thing. There was a few other things in there, but that was a major thing. Here's a lady that I knew not, that she knew Phyllis Santina, she knew John Brown. I don't know if she knew Arthur Shields now, but she knew them. They were friends of hers. And she could testify to the fact that they're the ones that did the crime because Phyllis Santina had told her that they did it.
Okay.
The judge, when it was in there, and the judge negated them to allow her to testify, that didn't make any sense. This is a witness who know the criminals that you're paying money to lie on Perry Cobb and David Tillis. And he wouldn't allow the testimony. So that was good to go down. That's what got us back.
Finally, you get out of death row after this appeal.
They got a lot of people on death row. We was the only men that had won the appeal. All the other men had been turned down, had dates to die. So we opened the doors for the appeal thing. We opened the doors. And that made them doubly angry, especially when they find out that I wrote the brief. This came out in the trial that I had wrote the brief that's got us off of death row. They didn't like that. The state's attorney them didn't like that at all. The jury, whether they wanted to let us go free, so we had another mistrial. So that's another mistrial, right? 1, 2. That's
the fourth one. Another mistrial. The jury couldn't decide if you were guilty or not.
So now we got to go back for a fifth trial. We don't go right away. They gave us the date for the fifth trial all the way up in January.
Which year?
1987. Locked up in 77. Got another trial in 87 for the same thing. But this is the fifth trial. Trial 5. I'm feeling good about this one because my testimony is good, and all the lies that's been told is coming out. That's good. They allowed in the trial to come out that I was a professional entertainer, a singer and writer of songs. That was good. They didn't allow that to come out in none of the other trial.
The important part is not whether you're a singer or not, is that you want to get out of there.
I want to get out of it, but that's part of it because while I'm in Cook County Jail, there's no record of negativism with me and guards or me and gangmans or nothing, no fight, none of that. So I'm not the violent, negative person that they talked about, because how can I be in Cook County Jail all this time, don't get no fights, don't get no arguments or nothing with the guards? Wait a minute now. If I'm this bad, I should be in some kind of trouble. I didn't get in no trouble at all, period.
So for this fifth trial,
The fifth trial.
you chose not to have a jury. It's only the judge who would have to decide.
That's right.
Why? You didn't trust the juries
It
anymore?
took them to tell you something. But every time I went with jury, it wasn't enough evidence for them to cut us loose. We're going to put all the weight on that judge. All the way, because how could he go against the record? The record is showing, this is the record in the court building that he in his courts, where people can testify for the state. And where people was denied to testify for the defense. But it's all on record.
So now let's talk about what happens and what will help you. Santini talked about this murder to another person. Santini was babysitting for a family, and she told the father of that family that she had done this robbery.
Had did the crime. John Brown had did the robbery.
And this man, he's called Michael, the father of the kid she was babysitting.
Yeah.
He read about your case in a newspaper, and that's how
Yeah, he read about it.
he read about it, and he remembered what she told him, and that's why he testified on your behalf, right?
Yeah. Because I didn't know him. My lawyer, David's lawyer, the investigators found him and brought him to testify, right? But when they told him what he's going to testify about that, I said, we need him. We need him. We need him. And when he testified, man, I'm about to cry. It made me feel so good because they're letting the truth is coming out. And all these years for something we did not do. You know, when he testified, it made me feel so good. They finally let the truth come out. So, man, they got to let us go because we didn't do anything. All those years, 10 years. 10 years. The judge cut us loose, set us free. It was quiet. And then people got to screaming. And from my side, where the people was coming to see, judge, they cut us loose. They about to make me cry, man.
Now we know that Santini took her boyfriend, Johnny Brown, and he did the crime.
The record reflecting that it was Phyllis Santina and Johnny Brown, not Perry Cobb and Davatilla. The whole record reflected was them two, and the state's attorney paid them money to tell that lie.
Were they ever in prison after that?
Do a dog cook biscuits?
What do you mean?
Have you ever seen a dog cook biscuits?
Never?
A fried chicken?
No?
When you see a dog frying chicken and cooking the biscuits, then that's your answer.
Oh,
no, sir, they have never even. I don't think they've even been in the police car.
Really? Do you have an explanation about this?
Yeah, state attorney is no good. The judge was no good. It was stated to them that they did the crime in their courtroom. This wasn't done wasn't done on the side. Didn't nobody whisper this and that. It came out in the courtroom that they did it.
You are released in 1987.
87.
You spent 10 years on death row and prison. Prison is death row, but not only death row. How did you go along with your life? How did things go for you after that?
Well, I had to adjust because I didn't trust anyone. I had to adjust, man. I was taking a couple of places, and I was uncomfortable, and I made some of the people there uncomfortable because I was big. I was built up big, very big chest, big old arms. I was big, huge, not fat, just a big man, you know. And I think my presence caused a lot of people to kind of back away from me because I was huge. If you would see me, could have seen me at that time, then you understand what I'm saying. I was big. Maybe the air that I had about me, because I didn't talk to anyone but the lady named Pat. I talked to her, nobody else. I was with her, did not talk with her, nobody. I had to adjust. And it wasn't an easy thing to do because they got me on the TV almost every day, in the newspaper, and I'm trying to get around. So I went around with my dad. My dad had all these paper stands he had bought, so I went over there to talk to him. And here's a lady came out and hit brakes out of the car, taking my pictures. She contacted. I said, no, she's taking my picture. I said, I told my dad, I said, I got to go. I don't know what it's all about. But I didn't trust anyone, so I came here.
Did you find a new job?
I didn't find a new job. I was doing speaking engagements, going different places speaking.
About your experience?
Yes.
That's how you've been living?
Yeah, so that's how I live. And I went to a few places, and they just want me to just hum a tune. They said, you got to sing just hum, we're going to pay you. Because I used to sing well. It was a gift from God. And well, Mother York was a lady minister. She had had me to come to her church, and I went in. I sung a song, and the people, everybody in the church had to come and touch me. They're shaking like a leaf on the tree. I was scared, man. I didn't want to get in no trouble.
How did you stay in touch with your children during all those years?
I had my baby daughter. She used to write me, and then she came to Chicago, and her and my other daughter, was a baby girl by another woman. They came together to see me when I was in Cook County Jail, and that's how I stayed in contact.
How did you manage to reconnect with your children after you got out?
Through her, through my baby girl, and when that's why I moved here because they was here.
In Memphis.
Yeah,
Now you're in Memphis.
yeah, and I decided to stay here, come stay here. First, I said, well, I get to home, I do my write. I got where I used to write the table back there where I do my writing. I said, I come now write, and when the weather go kind of sour, I go back to Chicago. So my people kept telling me, said, don't come back to Chicago. It's too bad. It's too bad here. So I went and visited Chicago. I checked it out for myself, and I said, they right. Because I knew a lot of people in Chicago, a lot of people, and I didn't need to be intermingling with them because I don't know what they're into. I don't know what they might do, and say, well, come on, Perry, let's do. I'll stay here, so I stay right here. I'm homebodied. I don't bother a lot of people. I just tend to my affairs.
So now you are more than 80 years old? 83?
Yeah.
What is your message about the death penalty? Do you think it can still be fair if it's well applied?
Well, that's hard to say because the system in itself is crooked. It's been broken. All they do, they might fix one part and let it be broke elsewhere. You got bad judges, you got bad prosecutors, and you got bad policemen. If they would change that whole system, that's the only way that it can be repaired. The only way. You remove the bad policemen, move the bad state's attorney, and the bad judges. And see, it's hard to do that because these people are locked in. You've got the state's attorney, they prosecute for the state. The judges, supposed to be fair, they go, they have their parties together. They have when they have a party, the judges are there and the state's attorneys are there and the lawyers are there. How can you win?
As a conclusion, what message would you like to tell the people who have been listening to your interview today?
I would like to know one thing that is extremely important is your family. They destroyed relationship between me and my family. I'm still getting together with my children because that time, those 10 years out of their life with me, that mean a whole lot. And see, when that's destroyed and you got to reveal it, it's hard to go back in retrospect and deal with something that you know and know not. I know not my daughter's ways, how they are. I don't know. So that's a gap that's missing. See, when they destroy your life, it's not like putting a house together. Life that went on with everyone that knew you. And the record that they got is what's in the newspaper, what they had on radio and TV. You're guilty. Some gonna say, well, he was found innocent 10 years later. Some say, well, he did that. Don't you know him? They don't know. So the best thing that I can suggest is if you can't adjust yourself to the way that people are, Got to be like Perry. I'm alone and happy. Because when I'm with a whole lot of people, I'm not happy and I'm uncomfortable. I don't know what might happen. Something can pop up and you can be trying to get away from it. And somebody say, look at him. And there you go, you're into it again. So you have to learn how to adjust with yourself, to be real with yourself. You can't be out there with the people anymore. You can't do that. I'm an entertainer. Love to sing. Can't do that anymore.
The fact that you like to be alone, that you need to be alone now, it's due to those 10 years in prison?
That has everything to do with it. And because I was wide open with people. An entertainer, love to sing, love people, right? But I can't do that anymore. I probably could still hit a note or two if I wish, but I don't do that. I listen to other people's music right now. That's what I do.
And Santini and Brown, do you know where they are now? Have you heard about them since then?
I haven't seen Brown. I haven't seen Phyllis Santini, and I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm not trying to go and see them in Chicago, because if I went there and seen them, I don't know how I would react. And so check this out. I'm safe right here. I'm not going. I'm 83 years old. I'm not looking for trouble, and I don't find nothing in this house to get me no trouble. I go use my bathroom. I cook my own food. I do my own yards.
And can you forgive them one day?
No. I'm not going to tell a lie and tell someone that I forgive them. I can't forgive what I can't forget. See, and these people were paid money to tell this lie. And they tried to kill me. They destroyed me and my family ties. They destroyed my career. And I can't forgive that, because you done made me change my whole life around. I probably could have been a rich person by now, because I could really sing. And I'm not saying that I simply, everyone used to love to see Perry Cobb sing, because I could sing. God gave me that gift to sing and write.
Well, thank you very much for this interview. I think it's a story that needs to be told, and I'm hoping that people will listen to it, and I'm sure they will be very interested in what you said. Thank you. This is the third time I interview for this YouTube channel and podcast someone who has spent time on death row. Listen to my interview with Pamela Perio. It's a 5-part interview, and I can guarantee that you will never forget it. You remember how Perry Cobb said how uncomfortable he was with that all-white jury? Well, if you want to explore that topic further, listen to my interview with Estelle Hebron-Jones from the Texas Defender Service about racism in the implementation of the death penalty here in Harris County in Houston, Texas. I also talked with the sociologist Sandra Joy and asked her a question: why there are so many black people on death row and so many white people fighting the death penalty. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to rate, to share, to comment. Also the podcast, of course. This is your support to this work. Those stories need to be known. Thank you.